Hey, hello, and I hope you are doing well. So, in today, we are going to start our series of a data analysis, and that will contain some of the most important Python libraries that we will saw in that. So, mostly, what we are trying to achieve is to get the basic know-how of how we are going to deal with the data analysis in Pandas and NumPys. These both are Python libraries and widely famous in data analysis, so we will go through them. So first of all, I will give you just an overview about what it is. So this is what is called a Google Colab. If you're not familiar with it, get familiar with it. It's a so simple Python interpreter, and it will just use to write code in Python. So we just need to get ready and just type Google Colab and it will just pop up. You need to just open a new notebook. That's so easy steps to do it. So here, this will be displayed to you. Now what we are trying to do is actually study how data analysis work. And first of all, because this is the first video, so I will try to explain that agenda of ours will be that we have to mostly focus on NumPy, Panda, practical. So we have to do practical stuff. We will be doing a lot of coding thing and step-by-step coding from scratch mostly, so we can understand it, a theoretical perspective also, but the practical perspective. All right, so let's start with the Pandas. So what is Pandas? So Pandas is actually being used to structure the data and to allow us many powerful functions to apply these functions on our data, the unsorted data or unstructured data. So first of all, we need pandas from our Python. So what we need to do is to just import it. We say import pandas, and then we have to give it an alias. An alias can be anything, but we, as a programmer developers, we mostly give it as PD. So we just say PD. And then we just click on this play button to run this cell. And there we go. This cell is run. So anytime I need to use pandas, this will be mostly used with PD word. Okay, so now what we need to do is what we are trying to. Okay, so we have to use. So whenever we have to load pandas, we have to use a PD word. So let's try to do it. And first of all, what we have to do is to see how pandas actually work. So for the very first thing, let's jump on straight away to an example. A simple, beautiful example. Let's say we have a dictionary. So what's a dictionary is? In a Python, we have a dictionary which have a key and value pair. So if I just jump on to write onto this code, don't be afraid. It will look scary if you're seeing it first time, but it's totally not. Let's see. This is our data dictionary. The name is data, and then I have a multiple key values pair. So this is the key, and these are all the values that are associated with that key. So this is the key, and this is all the values associated with it. So you can assume that this is actually very hard to read right now, and this is actually look like unstructured. I don't know which value aligned with which value because it's in a dictionary. So what I will do is to convert this dictionary into pandas data frame. So the main topic is not this. You can just assume that this is our data, but the main thing is this function, the data frame function. What this data frame function will do, it will take in this dictionary and it will just do is to convert it into pandas data frame. So I will just run this cell. Look, first we just import the pandas, then we say df, and then I say using this pandas PD and use the data frame function from pandas and just create this data frame. So now if I look at this, there we go. It's a pretty structured data, and now I can actually see which date is correspond to which cell and which is the family of it. So the first row is the column name, the first column is the index, and then we have ID, date, and all the numbers in it. So this is how pandas work. It gives us the structured way. They have a lot of functionalities, a lot of ways to manipulate the data, and we will also look into that one. But this is just a basic introduction of pandas and how things work in pandas. And for this video, this is a really simple program, and you just don't need to get confused in this thing. This is not something messy. This is just a dictionary in Python, and that is what you need to know. The thing is, we just use a data frame function to just structure our data and to convert it into the pandas data frame. So this was just an introduction of pandas. Now let's jump on to NumPy. So what is NumPy? NumPy actually is a computational, I will say, library that help us manipulate the numbers and multiple things. You must have heard about machine learning, Gen AI, and everything that is going on right now. There's all trained on the models. There are models like a ChatGPT have a multiple models, and there are neural network behind it. So in the neural networks, there are multiple kind of communication between the layers. So I will not complicate it, but there are lots of numbers involved in it. So what we need to do is use NumPy, and this NumPy help us compute the numbers and do computational things on it more faster, even faster than the simple Python list. So this is the basic of NumPy. It is just homogeneous, like it contain only one data type. We can contain multiple data types, but we don't usually, but you need to know that. So it contains a very simple, same homogeneous libraries, data types of data, and then it just stores them continuously. So if I put some random data types like a string, integer, and float, it will give me a little behavior. So we will see that also through the code. But here is the little program that help us understand how fastly our things work. So what's happening here is that, forget about this. This is just a way to import NumPy. I say import NumPy as NP. I just import the time because I want to use the time in my code. And what is this? This is actually a list, an array. So what I do, I take n, which is approximately 1,000,000, and I say, okay, create 1,000,000, I will say 1,000,000 index in list, like 1,000,000, I will say elements of list, and 1,000,000 element of NumPy array. And what I will do now is I compare their size. So their size are pretty much same. So they took the same amount of memory. So you can assume that right now because we can see that it's take list size bytes, this one and this one. This. Now, if I run this cell again, this thing, Python list, took up to 0.07 seconds to sum up 1,000,000 characters. It is pretty much fast, but not fast enough for the machine learning models that we will see in future. Okay, if we look at the NumPy, it's saying 0.006, so that is pretty much more faster than our Python list. So this is just a small example. This is just a sum example. You take the 1,000,000 elements and just sum them up. And we're just trying to see that this is the function that we apply, the sum function on list, the sum function or NumPy array. And then we just calculate the time. So don't worry about how we calculate the time. But the thing is, the idea is that we have to concentrate on how faster our NumPy is working. So this is just a basic, very basic startup introduction to pandas and NumPy, and we will in the future see most of the things, how these things unfold and see them from scratch and start to build little by little. So I hope you will stay with me in the next videos. Goodbye.